Hey guys, it's Gus. And are you a DPS and sick and tired of spending a fortune on squash soup? Well, I know I am, and I know a lot of players I know are as well. So we stopped using it, and we can because the game just gave us two new items to help make balancing our stats much easier without squash soup. So if you go to squash soup, I just looked at PC prices. Squash soup is 5 times more expensive than sorbet. On PC, squash soups are like 258, 258,000 a stack, and sorbets are 50k a stack. And on PS4, they're 50k a stack for sorbets, and 350k a stack for squash soup. Well, you can't count this one. This is the shitty legacy one. So you want the good stuff. That's 7 times more expensive. And me and a lot of other players I know aren't using squash soup anymore. We're using sorbets. Um, this sorbets give you 5% power and accuracy. Squash soups give you 5% crit severity. Both of them last the same amount of time. The problem is squash soup costs 7 times more than the sorbet. So when I die and I use a sorbet and it costs me 500 AD, I think big deal. But when you die and use another squash soup and you're losing 3,500 AD, you're like, fudge. So there's two reasons why this is much easier now. The first is we have these new boots, and I know there's some classes that have um what you may call it. Their forte is crit sev, right? So they have too much crit sev, so they don't need these boots. I'm using them. They're very good, and they're super easy to acquire. They give 5% crit sev whenever you're 20 feet or closer, which is most of the time as an HR because we're mostly a melee class. So if you go to the campaign store in Manzo Branson and go to these gears, look, they're 300k, and then the currency, which a lot of you who have been killing driders and doing your weekly quest are going to have this currency to get these boots. And then also what they gave us is a new best in slot weapon enchant called the lightning. It's very good and gives 7.5% crit strike. So it's much easier to achieve our goals on our stats without using squash soup. And me and a lot of other players I know who are doing very well in the new trial are not using squash soup anymore. And it's going to save you a fortune. As an HR, it's kind of difficult because I think HRs and I think TRs get very little stats from our classes. So how I'm making up for the extra crit sev loss, God, you're gonna hate me for this. This companion is stupidly expensive. I got it when it was cheap, when it was like 100k. It's the Wolf, and I slapped that in my utility, and it gives 7.5% crit sev. So that's where I make up for a lot of my crit sev at. It is an expensive companion. I know on PS4 it is, anyways. I don't know about the other platforms, but I imagine so. So when we go here look through Wolf, we gotta sift through all the bullshit. The dire vicious wolf and the armored orc wolf, which are both actually really good striking companions, by the way. The wolf, you're looking at 1.8 mil for green. So upgrading, you're going to be spending like 3 million upgrading. So you got to ask yourself, is it worth it spending this much to get this companion if you don't have it already, and upgrading it so you can use sorbet? Well, it depends. It depends how much consumables you use in the game. It's a total personal choice. You'll have to switch a bunch of stuff around, but this was the big thing. But I already had it, so I'm very fortunate. So it didn't really cost me anything. But now when I run dungeons and I use sorbets like candy, I don't care every time I die how much it's going to cost me because these are dirt cheap. And the summer event is coming. It's right around the corner. We're mid-July, so these squash soups will become. They will come. They will go down. They almost assuredly they'll go down in price. So you got to ask yourself: is it worth swapping to a sorbet build over your squash soup build with summer festival? A month and a half, 2 months away. Well, that's up to you. I know I'm loving this trial. If you didn't know, this trial pays big AD. If you look through equipment, there's 3 pieces of equipment that drop into the new Zebnid's trial that pay handsomely. 1.1 mil for the belt. And where's the necklace at? Mm. Oh, there. Oh, there is none. That neck. Oh, there it is. 1 mil for the necklace, and then the artifact. Ooh boy, this one's the big ticket item. It is the it is called the wand of domination. I haven't looked in a while. Let's see what it is right now. 6 mil. So yeah, people are making big AD in this trial, and this stuff's selling. So if you do want to run this trial and make some AD and want to save AD in the process by swapping out your consumables, sorbet builds are very viable right now. And I thought I would share it with everybody. If you got any questions or comments about this, please comment below. Stay classy, Neverwinter. See you soon.